Greetings and salutations, my dearest friends. My name is Samantha, and today I'm going to be giving some Christmas romance recommendations. Hi, hello, how are you? Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to Trope Week and Vlogmas. I'm super excited. This is the first video of Vlogmas. If you don't know what Vlogmas is, it's basically when booktubers and YouTubers post every day in the month of December. I'm not going to be posting vlogs every day, obviously, because I want my channel to remain mainly bookish content. So you're just going to get all bookish videos for the entire month of December, and I'm very excited. We are starting off the first week with Trope Week. I've done this series or project on my channel before, and it's basically a week of videos where I pick a specific romance book trope and I give you a ton of recommendations. I've already done 2 rounds of this before, so I will leave the playlist down below. I've done videos for friends to lovers, polyamorous romances, age gap romances, enemies to lovers, all of the things. So I'll link it down below for you. But today we're talking about Christmas romances because 'tis the season. Also, side note, if you can hear squeaking in the background, I apologize. My dryer is on its last leg and it's making a lot of noise right now, so I apologize for that. The first one I recommend is this is a really big bold statement, but I think this is probably my favorite Christmas book I've ever read, and that is Let It Snow by Casey Cross. It's a short, sweet, and steamy novella. It follows our main characters, Amy and Josh, and it's a friends to lovers romance. So they have known each other their entire lives. They've grown up together. They've worked together, lived together, the whole shebang. They went away to college together, but Josh has made the decision that he wants to move back home, which is going to be like the very first time that they've ever been separated. So during the Christmas time, they decide to take this massive road trip as like a last hurrah for their friendship because they're going to be miles and miles apart. They end up getting snowed in, so it does have a forced proximity trope. On their way, they have to stay at this hotel that is just magical, and they finally have to admit their feelings for each other. This book gives you all the Christmas feels of like building snowman and being snowed in and just like warm, cozy times, but it's also a little steamy as well. I'm a sucker for friends to lovers. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's just one of my favorite tropes. Josh is like the epitome of a cinnamon roll. So if you like really soft, just sweet heroes, read this novella. This novella is perfect. Like, honestly, it's just perfect, so read it. Okay, so the next one I want to recommend is a book that's available on Kindle Unlimited, and that is Christmas Spirit by Ali Reichardt. This is a male-male romance, and it follows our characters Georgie and Roland. This has a lot of tropes, but mainly it is kind of like an enemies to lovers. They work in the kitchen together, and it's Christmas, so they're on their way home. Georgie needs a ride to the train station, and he ends up getting a ride with his co-worker Roland. They don't really get along. Like I said, it is enemies to lovers. Roland is like this executive chef that is kind of cocky and doesn't really take Georgie very seriously. There is also a huge age gap between them. As they're headed home for the holidays, there's this massive, like, bizarre snowstorm where the only available place is this rundown hotel that is a little off. It has a bunch of Christmas magic, so I wouldn't say this is like a supernatural romance, but there is just a little bit of like unexplainable Christmas magic that brings them together. And of course, the hotel that they find only has 1 room with 1 bed, which I know is a trope that a lot of people like. Even though they're completely opposite, they end up falling for each other, and it is a really sweet, low angst Christmas novella. Remember, like, I did a reading vlog for this, and I said this book was a little bit like a fever dream because it's so many tropes going on. There's enemies to lovers, age gap, office romance, 1 bed trope, Christmas magic, so much, just so much, but it was bundled together very nicely, and I do really enjoy this book. So if you're looking for some male Christmas romance goodness, look no further, friends. It's right here for you. Okay, so the next one I want to recommend is another novella. I promise not all of these are novellas. I just really like novellas. And that is Merry Inkmas by Talia Hibbert. I think we all know that her books are amazing, but this one is especially delightful. This book follows Cash and Bailey ends up working at Cash's tattoo shop, kind of like as a secretary, so it's a little bit of an office romance. She's down on her luck and looking for a job, and he ends up helping her, but of course there is an instant attraction that they can't deny. Bailey is not really close with her family, so she doesn't have anyone to spend Christmas with, so she ends up spending Christmas with Cash's family, and they start to fall for one another. Kind of would say that this is kind of like a sunshine grumpy trope, because Bailey is just super sweet and delightful, and Cash is kind of like this grumpy, tattooed, very tough and rough type of guy who's like denying his feelings for her, but then when he gets around his family, he's nice and soft, and it's a really good one. I really do like their chemistry in this book, and of course Talia Hibbert just writes amazing books in general. Right, so the next book I want to recommend is The Naughty List by Ellie Mae McGregor, and this is written by a fellow bookstagrammer. This one is a Santa romance, which is just all types of yummy and delightfulness, and oh, I just love this book so much. It's so steamy, but like in the best way possible, and I do have a reading blog for this one as well that I will link down below. It was one of the books that I read last year. So this book follows Kate and Nikolai. Kate is just recently going through her divorce, and her husband is giving her a really hard time about how they're going to spend time with their children during the holidays, and for the first time in a really long time she's spending the holidays alone, and she's just feeling like really bummed about it. And Nikolai comes onto the scene to deliver gifts and sees her, and you know, she's like a gift to himself. He is legitimately Santa Claus, and it's his family business, and he ends up just being completely entranced by our heroine. This book was just so well written. Our heroine is a curvy heroine. Also had like amazing discussions about aftercare and just being super sex positive and body positive, and it honestly is such a delightful read. If you're someone who likes more steamier reads, I know you will love this one. It is so good. Okay, so the next one that I want to mention is Stocking Stuffers by Erin McLennan. This is a part of a novella series. You don't necessarily have to read the series in order, but it does follow like this large friend group. This one takes place during the Christmas time. They're all set during holidays. I think the series is literally called So Over the Holidays, something like that. Anyways, this one is set during the Christmas time. Ooh. Excuse me. Oh, you look so beautiful. Oh my god, that green is amazing. The heroine ends up going to this romance book club, and she sells sex toys and naughty toys, and she's super positive and confident in herself, but she hates the holidays. She was actually engaged, and she was gonna have like this huge Christmas wedding, and then she gets dumped. So she's not a huge fan of the holidays, but in strolls our hero, and he is a part of this romance book club. Yes, it's a hero who reads romance, which we love so much, and they are snowed in. A lot of these books have like the snowed in trope, but I feel like that's very Christmassy, cozy vibes. So our heroine is stuck in this hotel full of Christmas decorations, and she's just not feeling it, but she is definitely feeling our hero, and they end up having like a fun, steamy time. Again, this one was also super sex positive. The book was also really fun because our hero is a little bit more submissive, and our heroine is the more dominant one in the relationship, which was just super fun to read about. And yeah, I really like Erin McLennan's writing. She writes some of my favorite novellas, so this one is a good one to try. So this one has the grumpy sunshine trope, but our hero is the sunshine one, and our heroine is the grumpy one, which is not that common. Usually it's the other way around. So yeah, you know what? I really like this one now that I'm remembering it. I read it a long time ago, so I forgot how much I loved it. So the next one that I'm going to mention is technically not Christmas, so you're gonna have to forgive me. It takes place during New Year's, which is damn close enough. So this is Party Favors. I can't speak today. Party Favors by Erin McLennan, and this is in the same series as the book I previously mentioned. This is probably one of my favorite books I've read of all time, like definitely top 10. Yeah, I love this one. It's another Friends to Lovers, which you guys know I adore, and it's a sapphic romance. So this follows our two heroines who are best friends. They end up meeting online over like their shared love of fashion, and they decide that they're going to meet for the very first time on New Year's. They've spent years being best friends, kind of texting back and forth and creating this bond, and they decide they're going to meet on New Year's, and they're going to create a huge bucket list and do all of these things together. Well, when they finally finally meet in person, boom, instant attraction. They're just totally drawn to each other and they fall for each other and spend New Year's together, and they check off all of these really cool things on their bucket list and just become more confident in themselves and together. And I love this sapphic romance so much. I feel like this one is so underrated. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it, so read it. I know it's not Christmas, but it gives Christmas vibes. You know, New Year's, Christmas, they're like right next to each other. It gives the same vibes. And I think it snows. It snows Winter Wonderland in this book. So fucking read it, okay? That was so aggressive. Okay, so the next one is the Christmas Pact by V. Keeland. This one is an office romance. Characters have very similar names, so they work at the same company and their emails are always getting sent to each other, like the wrong emails. And our heroine like absolutely hates that, hates our hero because he always like reads her work emails and replies to them, and she just thinks he's super annoying. So they end up meeting at the company holiday party, and turns out he's like super attractive and also super annoying. So it's kind of like this enemies to lovers romance. Somehow during the party though, they end up making this Christmas pact where they will spend the holidays together to get their families off their backs. So our heroine's family is like pushing her to get married, pushing her to have kids. Every time she goes home for the holidays, she goes home alone, and she really doesn't want to deal with that. So she ends up taking her coworker, and they have like a whole fake dating scenario, and it is really cute. And even though it's like an enemies to lovers romance, it's pretty low angst, and I just really enjoyed this one. This one actually I think is written by two authors. Yeah, V. Keeland and Penelope Ward. They write a couple books together and they're usually pretty good. So yeah, this is a fun Christmas romance. Okay, if you are looking for a light, fluffy, low angst type of read, the next one is a really good one, but it is a YA book, so it has no steam. Somebody on my videos basically like they asked like could I do a video recommending like low steam books, kind of just like more sweet fluffy romances, which there's nothing wrong with those type of books, and I do read them occasionally, but mainly I like my side of steam with my romances. But if you are someone who likes sweet fluffy romances, this one's right here for you. It is a YA novel and it is called 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. Our main character, Sophie, again has a meddlesome family that is like desperate for her to date someone. She just recently went through a breakup, I think she just recently went through a breakup, and she's home for the holidays, and all her family wants her to get married and have babies and have like a Christmas romance. What ends up happening is that each member of her family sends her up with a blind date. So she has just like a bunch of blind dates, 10 blind dates during the holidays as she's home, and it's just really funny, and it is a sweet romance, but the main part of the book that I liked was her family and just how meddlesome they were. And yeah, this one was like a really wholesome one. So the next one is called How to Find Love in a Bookshop by Veronica Henry. This one I think is like super underrated. I never hear anyone talk about this book, and I adore it. So basically, how do I describe this book? How do I describe this book? The premise is it follows a bunch of different point of views and a bunch of characters. There is a man who owns a library and he recently passes away, and it follows all of these different point of views of people who were somehow connected to him. So it follows his daughter, his ex-lover, this couple that would always come into the bookstore. It's like slowly all related to this one bookstore, which is just like super fun and cozy to read about. The book also deals with a lot of grief because they're all grieving either their father or their friend who passed away, and during the Christmas time they all find solace with each other, and there's like different romances sprinkled throughout this book. I think this book is really hard to explain because it follows so many different point of views, but I loved it. It's so stinking cute. Although it does discuss grief, it's done in a really beautiful way that almost leaves you feeling like hopeful at the end of the book. This book also has pretty low steam, so if you're just looking for like a light read to get through, this one is a really good one as well. I keep saying that. They're all good, of course, because I'm recommending them. Just kidding. Anyways, those were all of my recommendations. I hope you guys read some. If you have any Christmas romances that you want me to read, let me know in the comments down below and I will get to them. I feel kind of bad that I didn't mention any historical romances. Surprisingly, with all of my love of historical romances, I haven't read that many that are Christmas themed. So I need to rectify that this year. I'm gonna end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will have videos posted every single day, so I will see you tomorrow for another trope. Tomorrow's trope is going to be Omegaverse, and I'm so excited because I've been loving Omegaverse books, and I'm excited for you guys to see tomorrow's video. So I will leave you with that. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with me. It means the world to me. I hope you guys are all staying happy and healthy, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I'll see you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. Yeah. All right, Samantha, you've already told them that you're going to post a video every day. You don't have to keep saying it. But please watch the videos because honestly, this is so much fucking work. Editing, filming, posting. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop. I'm going to get off my soapbox. Bye.